not for nothing, Dan, but I love the new esports facility that I saw coming to Toronto in 2025. For everyone who has not heard, OverActive Media announced a new state-of-the-art e-gaming facility that will be placed on the exhibition grounds in Toronto and set to open by 2025. It'll be a 7,000-seat venue created primarily for e-gaming, but it'll be open to other events and award shows, and it will be attached to a new high-end hotel. Now, for me, I love it. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, we're going to start with looks. That thing looks like a giant, beautiful spaceship, and I love it. Number two, I fall in a weird, I'm kind of old. E-gaming as a whole, I'm still legitimately a little bit confused about it. I love to game. You love to game. We love to game together. Do I really want to watch people game? Personally, at this point in time, no. That might change down the line. I haven't really given it, a lot of tries watching it, but we're seeing overseas in Korea them packing stadiums and doing this. So here's the real reason why I love this, and it's not necessarily because of e-gaming. It's because Toronto is one of the biggest and best cities in the world, and that's not just because we're biased and we live here. It is because we have all of the infrastructure, a huge population. We have a great economy. It is basically the focal point of all of Canada. We are leaders in a lot of different industries. We have good tech companies coming up. I think that it is good to lead different things. And them doing this tells me that they want to be a leader in the e-gaming space. And this is the time to do it, because it's too late in 10 years. When New York has a version, when LA has a version, when Tokyo has a version, you need to lead. And I love the idea of Toronto leading in this space. What do you think about it?
I'm okay. I'm all right on it. I'll tell you this. I love video gaming. You know that about me. Like you said, you love video gaming. I love it. We game together since we were really small.
Yep.
The older I get, however, the less I would be, would be interested in watching other people play video games. And the nature of the games that are played competitively, the fighting games and the shooting games, the Call of Duties, the 2Ks, the sports, that's fantastic, but I'm not as kind of like interactive with like the online component anymore. I'd much rather curl up and read a good game. You know what I mean? Like almost like replacing it with like a book, that medium. So I think maybe you and I are relics of a bygone era, but looking forward for the kids, the kids that I work with on a day-to-day basis will be thrilled, and they'll shoot out the ceiling when they hear about this. They'll be so excited. Yeah. Me as kind of an old head, I see it. Like you said, I'm still kind of confused by it, and like the allure of and the spectacle of wanting to watch a bunch of guys and girls sitting in their chairs and gaming. I know there's a sort of team and a community aspect to it, right? It's the same reason we watch sports, right? Of course, I understand why it's there. I think maybe if I took the time to kind of sit down and maybe got to know some of the players' personalities and invest myself in it, like anything, I'm sure I could get interested. But, at this juncture, I just feel like it's not something that I would personally, really check in on or be super interested in. But I could see why it would be good for the industry. We've got a lot of great video game developers based just in Toronto, right, or around Toronto.
Yep.
And the next generation of kids, they love their video games, and they love specifically anime and manga. All that stuff is huge right now, and that's big in fighting games. And again, that is, the older I get, the more I see the dollar signs that can be attached to that for the city and the video game landscape in the city in general. So well, like I said, I'm kind of past it. I'll check in on it from time to time. But going forward, if you want to compete with like Silicon Valley or like the San Francisco, California tech giants, especially in the world of video games, it's something that, for sure, people should be excited about.
Yeah, and it's time to do it, right? Like I said, I mean, like in Korea, they've been doing similar things, and people love it. And who am I to judge, what people find entertaining? Mm-hmm. And I honestly look at the evolution of e-gaming also similarly to, like, say, darts in the UK. It's like, have you ever seen a live dart event in Scotland? There are thousands of people. They're wasted. They're screaming. They have flags. And I'm like, oh my God. But if I was there, I would probably love it. So I think that we are at a revolutionary time in sports history, whether we like it or not. And we can either get on board or we're going to have to get out of the way, because this train is a moving.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they get an open bar or some form of extensive bar going in that facility, I'll be there with you first night, and we're watching any game. I don't give a shit what we watch. We'll watch.
I love
watch something.
it.
Drinks on me.